kind of hammering in what they want to do from each player. And boom, it's much more straightforward. They know what they want. They know what they want to play. They know how to play it. And we already talked about the timings. What I really want to see what Hyde brings out here, though. Like with his IO, how aggressive do they want to be with the relocates?
You didn't
How
see
much
that
often do
coming.
they want to bring Dreamosel to these fights? And just the timings they want to hit here. So it's going to be a good back and forth. And you have some more options here for Army Geniuses. But we'll see if they can get the spacing out. And yeah, it does look like, yeah, it's going to be DB mid and Magnus. No, actually, Mamang Daya's got the shared tangos, Mike, and he's got the Fairy Fire.
Sorry, John, I'm having a look at this Rubik set. I think it looks pretty cool. I haven't seen
Oh,
this one before. I mean, I've seen the whole cards thing, like the Jester kind of thing, but I haven't seen the head of this Rubik by Kesku.
yeah,
Very nice. It's only a rare set, surprisingly enough. I think it looks pretty nice.
yeah, it looks pretty sick. Pretty sick stuff.
So what
So,
was that you were saying, John? That who's going mid?
Mamang Daya on the Ricky, shared tangos are on him.
Okay, all right, that's
Maybe he gives
okay.
them to DB. No, DB's queuing up the tangos. Yeah, it's
DB's got a Quelling Blade.
huh.
Is he playing Pos 1 Magnus?
Yeah, perhaps that's a call out. Yeah, he's queuing up boots. He's still queuing the tango, so it looks like he is going to head top. Ricky mid against Invoker. I'm not
I
sure
think it's
how I feel about that one.
I think it's fine. I don't think it's a problem.
It's yeah, I guess you could make it work. You play around with the blink strikes. And this is going to be a very relaxed lane for Mikoto, though, unless you get supports coming in with your smoke screen timing. Otherwise, it's just kind of straightforward. Invoker just finds his farm, and yeah, that's going to be it. So we'll see how much DB can get from his safe lane mag once the lanes break out. Uh, just down to that, I suppose.
Seems like they don't want to lane the Ricky up against the Mars. I think so. They'd rather just go for the easier lane setup up against the Invoker mid. Makes enough sense, but DB might have a bit of a struggle farming in the safe lane as the mag. The whole point of the mag being a core is you can farm the side camps in the mid lane, but he's not really going to have that.
The inevitable.
Hmm. And it's something different here. I think we'll see if it pays off for AG, whether or not they can get that spacing out. At least they've got this very stable offlane to play with. So it's the Night Stalker coming through for Wami, LYM's around as well in the Mirana. They have some pretty good timings.
I like this UK guy. So he's a funny guy. Wishes him good luck and then says Kappa. Very nice.
Oh, Mikado was like, good luck, Indo Pride. Yep. You rarely get these Indonesia versus Indonesia games, but I'm sure everyone's happy there. It's a
Yeah.
treat. You don't get to see too often.
Yeah, I think it's always good when there's new teams coming into the scene. We the more competition, the better for us and for the viewers.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. And they've just got to kind of get used to it. Again, this is a bit of a step up for Army Geniuses. Still kind of hammering in that team chemistry as well. I don't think the roster's been stuck together for as long. I believe they were together since August, which is a good enough time, but not as long as Boom. Boom's been together forever. And
Oh, Hyde.
arrow onto Hyde.
Hyde. Oh, he gets out with the tether, but he's still gonna die here. And UK will pick up the kill. Hyde, I'm not. Did he even get the bounty rune? No, he did not. Bit of a misstep there from Hyde. But, a nice pickup there for the side of Army Geniuses, and they do get the first blood.
Yeah, they're going to be very happy. That's one way to get this Mirana off to a running start, and we talked about it. This is probably the most stable lane for Army Geniuses to build their base off of. So Wami's going to have, a decent enough time. You know what to expect. However, Dreamwitsel's feeling confident now with Hyde back. And as long as they play around this daytime, Wami's going to take some time to really ramp up. So Lim's got to be consistent with the arrows, consistent with the lane control, and get that EXP flowing here.
The really good thing as well for that first blood gold that UK got is he does buy out 2 Sage's masks straight off the bat, so he's going to have constant mana regen coming in for himself. Of course, I believe he will just go into the into the Orchid on the Winter Wyvern, which is, I mean, kind of standard. We see that a lot in pub Wyverns. We don't see Wyvern enough in pro games anymore to really know what the item builds are anymore on the Winter Wyvern, but I guess the added mana regen in the lane is still going to be very influential, and if you can ever get to the Orchid build-up, it is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. If they can manage to get that farm flowing, I think the other heroes will definitely take that priority, though. We'll see what they can do. Of course, the top lane for DB and UK is still a bit of a challenging one. Whenever Arctic Burn is down, Winter Wyvern just doesn't have presence in lane. FBZ just kind of forces the issue. Slightly behind DB, but not by much. And really, Kescute's just having the better time here. He's got level 2 already on that Rubik. Just wants to get that steady EXP. Building some stacks up for them to get a nice pull going for FBZ to clear out as well with the God's Rebuke. And that is something very nice that you can get done with the offlane Mars.
Yeah, it's very good presence there from Kescute to just stack the wave, stack the camp. The wave was nicely in a nice position anyway for FBZ, so he didn't need to go for the pull. When you see the Wyvern trying to interrupt the pull that was going to happen, so Kescute can't get it off, and UK actually gets it. And Kescute, he wasn't expecting that to happen. He's not in position to contest. He'll get there now, but that's actually a very nice play from UK.
Yeah, it's cleared out by FBZ though. So in the end, I think Poon's not going to be too upset, but still a good stall out there to balance that lane back. DB's just going to be finding stable farm. In the one lane we haven't talked about, mid Ricky, Mamangdaya still finding some decent farm up against Mikado. Mikado's actually lagging slightly behind, but not really under pressure. Mamangdaya is the one forced to pop all his regen. No shared tangos left. Salve is gone. Yeah, does have his 2 rate bands up, so he can really start to hit like a truck if Mikado's not careful.
He can. It's a good start here for Mamangdaya, and this is why I said I think the lane's pretty decent here for Mamangdaya on the Ricky. Especially with the Quas the Quas Wex build on the Invoker, you can't really pressure the Ricky, nor can you really deny much CS off him. He's going to have a decent enough start here, Mamangdaya. See how he can translate that later on to some kills if he can. Because Makoto not really struggling too much either. He's just going to be 3 last hits behind the Ricky. But I think so far, John, Army Geniuses, they're onto something. They're doing pretty well.
Yeah, they're getting out these stable lanes. They're finding a pretty decent ramp up. They're also in position to contest these runes. And there are no supports here from Boom to go for them. So Mikado's just not finding them. They could easily go for a rotation now for a kill.
UK is going to come in. Bit of harassment on Makoto. He won't mind too much. He does have 2 points in Quas. Kills him up pretty darn quick. Like LYM will just leave the mid lane as well. Go back down towards the bot lane. He'll start arrowing some neutral creeps while he's running around. Thing is for the Mirana, and I guess you did point this out during the drafting stage, but there's not really much for him to do during this early period of the game because he doesn't have the setup for these arrows. So the best he can do is just be disruptive. But unless he's willing to try and go for those, I guess I could call it a naked arrow without the setup. There's nothing really much for him to do apart from that.
There's not much you can expect from LYM here. Just doing the proper play, as you mentioned, contesting Hyde, giving some solo space to Wami. So it's nighttime now. Wami's going to have an easier time sustaining himself. He's got higher move speed, better attack. Shouldn't be able to clear out these waves just nice. And Dream Assault's got to be a bit cautious. The added duration on, all of these spells on the Void gonna make it a bit harder for Dream Assault. Of course, the Shadow of the Night does help Lim work his way mid again, but still with no setup, it's gonna be hard to force himself onto Mikoto.
Yeah, looks like Makoto's gotten very aggressive as well now. On that Ricky, arrow, just gonna be a complete whiff. That'll just let Makoto know that LYM is around the corner, but there's not much that LYM can do now without the arrow up. Mamangdaya will get a nice little arrow, a mango off the Mirana. Invis Rune going to spawn up top. Makoto will go ahead and take it. Neither core really cares about the runes anyway. Meanwhile, bot though, Hyde is being chased down by Wommy. We'll be able to salve up on the IO and survive the onslaught from that Night Stalker. And that's another thing we saw during Game 1 of today, John, with that Night Stalker that was being played by Army Geniuses. They didn't get very aggressive throughout the early nights. And it's something you'd rather see them change in this game up against Boom.
Definitely is something that you'd expect a bit more activity from Wami. At the same time, with the Night Stalker's timings, I think this is what we've seen from a lot of Night Stalkers. You know, first night you use it for farming. Maybe you get something once you hit 6 or 7, if you're still within the first night at that point, but you're not generally that aggressive. And that's just going to give space out for Boom. As you mentioned, Dream Assault still finding some steady influx of gold. He's going to be uncontested, and it's a bit of a missed opportunity, but it is the nature of this draft.
No, it's fair enough. It's just, when you've got this early game draft, I mean, I'm not expecting any rotations in the first night, but maximum second night, you've got to get aggressive. I mean, you can't, you can't sit there farming during the second night, especially when you've got the ultimate available as well. Wommy, with the Ricky, with the Mirana, the Mag, you could get involved early on and get some stuff done. Otherwise, Dream Assault's going to farm out of control, as he did last game. And, top lane. UK finds his way over the arena. Looks like it was due to the fact that he had used the Arctic Burn, and he got speared because he got speared out of the arena because he was flying already.
Yeah, that's a gnarly interaction.
Yep.
Just not quite lined up for FBZ. Still, he's got a free top lane. So you see it has been forced out. You do not have the Magnus around. DB's just forced the jungle right now. This is okay though. So we talked about the Magnus and jungle. Recovery is super fast. The issue is it's not a free mag game, right? You have some good upkeep from the Sven. They're pressuring that top tower still.
UK going to be in a bit of danger here. FBZ doesn't have any spells to use, so KezQ will take the kill with the Fade Bolt. Looks like they can start to really take down that tier 1 tower very soon. However, Hyde and Dream Assault could be in a spot of danger as Mamang Daya looking to rotate now. Does take out the courier. And was that the Mask of Madness? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Nice little pickup.
Yeah, gonna offset Dream Assault's farming speed. So good stall out from Army Geniuses. Really starting to put the vision down where it matters as well. Keeping track of his bot jungle, ensuring that Dream Assault doesn't have a free ride in his farm. That does slow down our Sven by a huge amount, and they're going to have to secure farm elsewhere. They're starting to invade that bot jungle. They're not quite in a position to push the tier 1 just yet, but it's a good movement out overall.
Yeah, FBZ even going down the top lane. UK able to pick up another one with Mamang Daya. Makoto even getting arrowed by LYM in the river, but he's not going to have much help around to try and secure a kill on this Invoker. So 1 to 2 so far, a very, very slow game in terms of kills. It is probably set to explode pretty soon in terms of these kills though, as we are getting towards that mid game where all these heroes do start to pop off. Speaking of Wommy, he's going to move into the mid lane now and see if he could try to set up on Makoto, but Makoto does back at the right time. Wommy might just have to go back for those 10-minute bounty runes.
Yeah, it's again a bit of a stall out. Daytime is coming up, but they still hold on to the Dark Ascension. So 10 runes come out, and LYM does manage to snipe one. That gives themselves a nice beast buff.
LYM has another lead charge. He didn't use it. Not sure what he was expecting there. Still, Winter's Curse is going to be out onto Dream Assault. Mamang Daya does chase down Hyde and does get the kill. Dream Assault wants to turn back around onto Mamang Daya, but they don't have any disable. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade. That was a very awkward position for our Mirana. Just, I know he was cold snapped, but he had time to leap.
Yeah, it's a bit greedy to not get that done. Maybe just a bit hesitant, actually, trying to wait for the teammates to come in for punishment. Does get punished instead. A even trade overall, support for support. Dream Assault does manage to finally pick up his Mask of Madness. Courier does respawn. So the farm should start to kick into gear. Dreamwell is number 1 right now, 6.2k. That should kind of be offset with his Echo Saber buildup from DB, who's been given free reign in his jungle. So our Magnus off to a pretty fantastic start. Mamangdai as well. 1 Blade of Alacrity down. 2 parts left, plus the recipe into that Diffusal. And once you do have that in the Ricky, then you're talking. That's when you can start dancing around, get the damage off. And trying to pressure onto Keskut, but you can't really expect too much. Boom, for their part, it is a slower draft, right? Like, you're waiting for Mikado to get the Orchid, you're waiting for levels to be up. You are pretty satisfied with just trading farm, but you always have to keep in mind you are playing a farming game up against a Magnus lineup that might come back to bite you if you aren't careful.
That's very true. Lane, Kodo, sharp again, up against the Ricky. Just burn the mana of Mamangdaya, but he's going to be perfectly fine. It's the Quaswex Invoker, just quite a bit slower in terms of kill potential. But it looks like they are going to smoke up now, as he does have level 9, and he's pretty close to the Orchid, but they aren't going to bother waiting for it. They'd rather get active now, as it's been quite a while since we've seen anything happen. UK is in position to try and defend the tier 1 top tower. Maybe a little bit challenging though. Stream Assault does pop the God Strength, and Hyde is staying well and truly back to make sure he does not get cursed up by this Wyvern. He will just TP out back towards the mid lane where they have lost DB on the mag. Dream Assault now getting relocated in. Wants to go after another hero, but there is no one left to go after. So instead they are going to back and get back to farming.
It's a pretty good rotation in. That's the biggest kill they could actually have hoped for, considering that DB is number 1 on the Dire side. But they got a good kill. There was a tower trade from Wami down bot, evening out the map control. Probably the best case scenario there for Army Geniuses, leaving it 3-3, less than 1k lead for Boom. But that is a lot of it on Dreamosel. He is just so massively ahead. 8.1k compared to DB and Mamangdaya at about 5.7 and 5.3. You're dancing here on the Sven. Yasha up, going into the SNY BKB build, which should be rather effective when you've got this IO around. We'll just have to wait and see what else develops. Like, they're still waiting for this Orchid and Mikado, which has been slow going. FBZ's blink timing is not too bad, considering. Just about 300 gold off. Once you've got that, your Morris can start to open up for you. We'll probably still want that Yules first, though. For the side of Army Geniuses, DB is about 700 off his own blink. So you're going to have the blink Echo Saber Magnus soon, and combine that with the damage you can get from your Ricky, who should have Diffusal at about the same time. That's going to be pretty massive for Army Geniuses as long as they hold out like this.
Absolutely. That Diffusal Blade is going to be problematic once Mamangdaya does have it up. But man, Dream Assault is really getting out of control now. I mean, that net worth, 9.3k compared to the 6k almost of the Ricky. They've got to get something done about this Dream Assault Sven. He's having the freest game of his life. UK will be chased up by Dream Assault. He'll decide to not waste any more time. Instead, over to the jungle. Looks like DB has been caught out by FBZ and Makoto. There was a relocate coming in from Hyde, but it was unnecessary. Dream Assault just back to farming. It's having such a free game.
Yeah, it's got all the space in the world.
They're not going to find anyone mid.
They're getting way too much space. DB's dying a bit too often. Like, they're giving this space to a Magnus Core that's just dying. Not what you want to see in now the mid-tier 1.
Look at that tower go down, John. Overcharge plus Master of Madness. It's IO spend for you, ladies and gentlemen. FBZ, he's going to find out this Night Stalker. And John, this is something I talked about a couple minutes ago, didn't I? Where has Wami been this whole time? I mean, we haven't seen anything out of this Night Stalker. The Aghanim Scepter isn't that valuable, I don't think. Like, it's pretty good, but
yeah,
if it's going to take you, 20 minutes of the game to farm it, I feel like you're just missing your peak timings here as the Night Stalker.
Oh, you are. We've seen this a couple of times. Maybe not from this tournament just yet, but previously when we watch Night Stalkers and they go for this build-up, it is costly to wait this long. There is a smoke out now, though, Army Genesis. They might look for an opportunity. It is nighttime. They catch one.
Mamang Dai is going to jump in. Arrow connects. Very nice. They do get Hyde. With that Diffusal Blade up, you want to see more of this, and that's a nice RP from DB into the Sven. Dreamer Soul is going to try and fight back. Hyde, he'll buy back and get ready for a fight. They are unwilling to let Dreamer Soul die. Or FBZ. Arena is going to catch up Mamang Dai, but a nice trick to the trade does avoid the spear. Arrow can be thrown out. Winter's Curse is going to be out onto Hyde. That could be a die back. Hyde trying to survive. Looks to die, however, as they did get the smoke screen. Now the skill back on Dreamer Cell. He wants to get out of here. He doesn't have God Strength yet. Makoto also just trying to get out, but the chase is on, and there you go. They get another. Very nice rotations out from AG. In fact, Wami might find another Kesku. Be crippling feared up. Void will be there, and Mamang Daya does jump in for another one.
Ooh, that's one way to get it done, Mike. They did find the big kills they needed. They don't grab the Sven, but they're keeping Mikado down. They forced the die back on Hyde. Oh.
Easy. Stormhammer going to fly in. Dreamer Cell. Take a nice easy kill onto that Mirana. I guess that's the one thing though, right? Like Army Geniuses, they had a great fight just a couple of seconds ago, but Dreamer Soul survived, and he's gonna have the BKB up soon. And once the BKB's there, things get somewhat more complicated.
It gets a little bit harder to get that control out. Look at that Roche.
Yep.
It's not gonna last too long. No, they do have RP here though, but it doesn't look like they're completely aware it's happening. And they need to contest fast if they want to.
Double damage going to be taken by Makoto. They have Moonlight Shattered up. Roshan's still alive. They have time, but they've got to find a way in. They've started on Makoto, but there's Urena coming out, and they have caught out the Riki with the spear. That'll be Mamang Daya going down. Now the curse is out. RP is perfect from DB. A great follow-up, and that is a big clean-up there from Wami. Dreamer Soul is going to try and fight back, but he gets skewered away by the mag, and this could be an even better team fight out for the side of Army Geniuses if they can finish them off, and they will be able to get him. A full team wipe out for Wami. And alright, apparently the Aghanim Scepter was worth it.
It pays off, and it was a strange decision from Boom. They were already sneaking the Roche. They step outside, and now they just give the Roche away to Army Geniuses. They give a 4K lead to Army Geniuses. I don't know what to say about that one. That's just not the play. The completely wrong move to step out. Plump up for the RP. Army Geniuses going to be dancing their way to victory now. They're at a good spot. They've got nighttime for a little bit more, but they have Dark Ascension ready to go anyway, and they're just set up for more kills.
Things are looking great. Army Geniuses showing us something special now. See if they can keep this up. You are approaching the point where that BKB is going to be up soon for Dreamer Cell, and after that I'm sure he'll probably go for the Ags, but Mamang Daya, bit deep, gets lifted. EMP going to be there, but he will survive. I think once the Ags is there for Dreamer Soul, after the BKB, it's going to be a bit problematic. But for now, Hyde has been caught out again, and well, AG, another nice kill for themselves.
They're just catching out these supports one by one, and it's been a really tough game for Hyde.
I like seeing this though from AG. So
Yeah.
obviously this draft is working out a lot better for them. They're grouping up quite nicely. And I mean, this is the spike of their draft, right? Especially with this Riki Night Stalker, it seems like they're just going to be online. Even with Dreamer Soul, with this much net worth, he just doesn't feel confident yet. In fact, he's not even bothering for the Ags build-up. He's going for the AC straight after the BKB. So a bit more of a defensive build from Dreamer Soul.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think when you've got this IO, I guess he feels like he doesn't need the added mobility, doesn't need the instant chop. because of that added attack from the Stormhammer with the Yags. You do lose a lot of instant damage though, and I suppose it's fine. It looks like the game plan now for Boom is to stall out. You mentioned it, but this is AG's power spike. They're still waiting for key items here on the side of Boom. Mikado's been suffering so much. Still level 12 in the Invoker. You desperately need levels on that hero to really be relevant. And they need to kind of prioritize him now for the books. Prioritize him for some solo EXP. And if you can get that, you're in a pretty good spot. I'd say level 15 is when Mikado needs to rush. Of course, the more is better, but I think 15 is just a baseline to stay in the game here for Mikado.
Moonlight Shadow gonna be out. AG. But the blink up now on Wami as well, so the instant crippling fear is gonna be there. Even the Orchid is gonna be bought up by DB, so I'm just gonna turn that into a Bloodthorn later on. Everything going very smoothly. 5k net worth lead. They're not rushing. They're happy with the way the game's gone so far. Dreamer Cell. Also just happy to farm. There is going to be a big smoke up now. AG. Love to get into that triangle and take out this Sven. Gonna be a bit hard though, as Dreamer Cell has position to break the smoke. But there's your nighttime and the jump in. They're gonna go after Hyde first. They want that IO dead, but the Stormhammer is gonna buy more time, but Mamang Daya gets in with the smoke screen. Now Dreamer Cell killing off his own partner in the Invoker. Dreamer Cell is gonna pop the God Strength and try to fight, but he has no damage. Another 4 heroes dead, and AG are playing this perfectly.
Their execution is just on point, and they might find the last one, FBZ.
Wami on top, Arrow not going to connect. Spirit Vessel is there on FBZ. He does drop the arena into the spear, but he is still in massive trouble. This UK is slowing him down, and Wami should have the damage. In fact, it's DB who gets it done. I'm liking what I'm seeing here from this team.
Yeah, they're playing really well now. It's starting to stick together. The aggression's paying off. 8k lead, 9k lead their way. They find a tier 1 top. The Magnus-Ricky duo is now in full gear. They're just getting the damage out. Just, you know, if the RP flies in, you've got Empower and Ricky. You've got this Orchid up to lock them down. You've got the Manta for Mamang Daya to be safe in the front. He's rushing the BKB. Just really smart build up here for a Ricky. Really great plays to come out, and Boom is just a bit too scattered. Their heroes are all over the map. Dreamocell is still number 1 in farm, but he needs to be in the right spot. He needs to help his team out. The biggest hurting point is still Mikado. His levels are just not coming in. Our Invoker's just been completely shut down, and Army Genuises have made top work of that one from their laning matchup. We need to see what else Boom can do. Like, Mikado just needs some levels here. Rushing BKB next on the Invoker. He is most of their team fight outside of the arena. And it really does start to boil down to, can Mikado cast his spells?
Well, right now, I mean, you've already talked about it a million times, but he is only level 13. You compare that to Mamang Daya at 18. So it's a pretty big difference. I don't know about this for Boom now. Those games that they do tend to dominate is usually off the back of Makoto and Dreamer Cell. But you are missing one half of that partnership at the moment. As time goes on as well, I mean, the Wyvern and the Mag are going to scale very nicely into the late game. You're always going to have that problem of that Winter's Curse from UK, as he does get a nice blink away from FBZ. Everything's working out. Even these BKBs now coming out, it's going to make it very hard to control anyone in these fights.
Yeah, it just takes away the potency of any of that magic damage that comes in, any of that control you expect Mikado to do. And the pressure starts to go on to Dreamocell to just get that instantaneous burst, but defensive build once more on that AC. It's not going to really apply more damage for him. You would rather... I feel I would personally prefer the Ags build. He does have his level 15 Dispel talent, If you had the Ags, you can kind of force yourself around. You can stand in front, play with your BKB better. But BKB plus AC, you're just going to lack damage, and we've seen that already hurt them in these fights.
Kezcute. He's going to have his smoke broken on Wami. Winter's Curse again. It's just a great curse out from UK into DB. He has the RP. He'll commit it straight off the bat into the Mars, into the Invoker. They'll also get Kezcute and Dreamer's on Hyde. All they can do is run right now, but Hyde's going to die before he can relocate back out. And now it's just Dreamercell. FBZ is going to buy back, but I don't think he can fight. It's going to be a dieback. Dreamercell and FBZ, it might be time to call GG. It's, I don't think they can come back from this.
Nope. They've thrown way too many bodies forward for no good reason. This is just atypical of Boom. Like, Kezcute breaking his smoke, not reacting in time. He's on the low ground. It smokes, you know, the smoke pops right next to the Night Stalker. It takes a while for the Night Stalker to respond, and he just gets picked off. Like, this kind of play is just not what I'm used to seeing from Boom. High ground under siege. They're still gonna hold out, but there's that BKB you were talking about, and Mikado gets jumped.
Oh, Mikado. And this is the strength of the Ricky mid. Doesn't care for the Invoker, and later on in the game, he is just an absolute menace. As now a skewer comes out from DB onto Kezcute. They're catching everyone. It's nowhere safe on the map for Boom right now. Dreamercell, he just gets relocated up to the top lane. He's like, look, we got to push the lane ASAP. We can't fight this. But AG wisely are ignoring them completely and going for another lane racks. There's just no point reacting. Yep.
No, definitely not. You're this far ahead. You're 20k up, 28 minutes in, 6 to 26. There's no reason to even consider that. They're going to pull back to be safe, which feels like a bit of a misstep, considering that there's literally nothing to be scared of anymore. There's no team fight. There's no damage. They're just going to maybe bait out movement here. They will smoke up, so they're going to go back in.
I like it. The pump fake. FBZ not expecting it. He does not have buyback. We saw him die back before and he's gone. It's going to be a second lane of racks out from AG. This is not the performance Boom we're looking for as they jump in again. Among may have gone a bit deep this time around, but he has a BKB. Unlike last game. But this time he does. So does DB. Well, he does. He actually got it already.
Yep.
Very nice.
It's still a 10-second charge to swell on DB. He's had that for a while. And you've got it on Wami. So 2 racks up. Tier 2 is the only thing keeping them from the top set of racks. They pull back. They could easily go for a Roche if they wanted to. It is up. That's Aegis and Cheese if they so wanted. 6 to 27, 23k lead. What's the statistics on Dota Plus? 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, like
I'm telling you, they may as well just call. I don't think there's any way to come back. As sad as that sounds, yeah. I mean, if they won a team fight, maybe, but the Ricky is just so strong now in these situations. I mean, they'll get a Roshan, which is nice. They get away with it. Nice sneaky play.
They have scan. Iron Genuises. What are they doing in their high ground? Like, legitimately, what are they doing in the high ground behind their tier 2? They're not even farming.
I believe
strange movement.
Yeah, I believe they realize there's a smoke going on, but
you pull all the way behind the tier 2 into tier 3s? That doesn't. Not even my pubs are that dumb, honestly. Still, you know, they're cautious play. I think they realize the swing is pretty big. Like 22k, 1 death would be a massive streak given off, so cautious play. I think they got traumatized after that first game. It's their turn to smoke, though.
Off we go. Where are we going? AG. To go after top lane with Dreamer Soul and Hyde have shown on the map, and well, they've got to relocate now if they want to get out of this. Hyde, he's going to be spotted out, RP'd immediately. Dreamer Soul, he'll make it. AG, I mean, at this point, you kind of look at this and you go, well, I think we can go high ground.
Yeah.
They don't really have much to be afraid of right now, AG.
Nah, they've got the tools. Still have Winter's Curse. RP, probably a bit of overkill, but you don't really mind when you're this far ahead. And all they really need is their creep wave to come in, so they're just gonna farm these triangle camps. They should have the AC flying up for DB as well. So a lot of good damage on your Magnus once more. I mean, Dream Assault's keeping up. He's got his AC. He's saving for the Satanic. It's just him against the world. Your other cores are irrelevant here. Mikado is still just hitting that level 15 mark at 32 minutes in. FBZ is less farmed than UK. So that's the state of the game now for Boom. You've basically got 4 supports and a core. It's just Dream Assault against the world. And it's so hard for the Sven to just stand there and fight. And look at that. Even a Ricky gets the Scotty up. Mamang Dai is just unstoppable in this Ricky. 12-1. He's just gonna wreak absolute havoc. He goes into the tricks of the trade. You're not gonna run out of it. You're not gonna run out of the silence. With the RP on top, it's just pretty terrifying here from Army Geniuses.
It is, and he's got a double damage there. Which is gonna mean people are gonna get deleted pretty quick whenever he decides to pick it up. A lot of damage. Where's he off to, though? Maybe clearing out that top wave. Army Geniuses playing very passively considering the advantage they have. I think they could definitely afford to get a bit more aggressive than this. But FBZ going to be the one to be aggressive, but Arctic Burn again. Going to get him out of the arena.
That is sickening.
It is. That ruins the whole... Oh,
no,
the arrow.
He got arrowed?
Yeah, he got arrowed all right. OIM gets the arrow, ignores the Mars, goes straight after that Hyde IO again. Meanwhile, FBZ still being chased down now by LYM. Shockwave's not going to connect. Arrow won't either. But FBZ, he is set to go.
Ooh.
Did he just try and hide the gem? He did try to hide the gem. And that's cute. That's a cute, you know. He's trying to hide the gem in the Roshan pit.
Yeah.
Not going to work.
I like the weaving in and out. You know, you lose vision a bit in the pit, you run back outside. Didn't work out. That is the tier 2 now for Army Geniuses, and that should open the high ground as I believe they still have the Aegis for about a minute, less than a minute now, but they've still got that up. And again, they've got all the farm in the world. It's 6-30, 26k. Still taking their time though.
Yeah, this is where the inexperience kicks in, where they don't. You know, you're kind of not sure how far ahead you are. Dreamer Soul going to run into his triangle. Dreamer Soul, I'm really not sure about that. Well, here comes FBZ with the arena. Mid lane. They're going to jump in. There goes Mamang Daya. Into the backlines after Makoto on the Invoker. Into the IO. Hyde should go down here. RP meanwhile on Dreamer Soul. They just called the GG. They've had enough.
Yeah. It's a good performance from Army Geniuses. Pulling out a draw here up against Boom. We expected Boom to maintain that Game 1 performance. Army Geniuses surprises that mid lane Ricky up against the Invoker. Did work out, as you mentioned, 6-34, 32k lead for Army Geniuses. That is one way to close out the day.